Hello, all you awesome listeners. We just came off a great interview with Bob Simon. What a guy, Matt. He's an entrepreneur. He's a lawyer. He's out there making waves in the community, investing in his charitable activities, giving back. It's really phenomenal to see that and observe that and kind of dig into the DNA behind it. What are our listeners going to hear in this conversation?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, Bob has a lot of balls in the air, right? He's got his hands in a lot of different ventures, but we came back to the common theme, and that is everything he's doing is geared towards helping people. And the line that he had, and I'll paraphrase, that really stuck out for me was start with something that you know you're good at, that you can help the most amount of people with, and then build your business, build your practice around that, and everything else will flow from that. Incredibly powerful message, and he gives you some really practical takeaways on how to do that as well. So, really excited about this episode.
I agree. So many nuggets in here I think you're going to enjoy. So, with all that being said, let's dive in. Hello, all you awesome listeners. We got another episode. I'm your host, Tanner Jones. We've got my co-host, Matt Smyers. We're kicking off this episode with Bob Simon. He's the co-founder of JusticeHQ and Justice Team Network. Today's topic is from the courtroom to the community, an attorney's playbook for impact. Welcome, Bob.
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy to be here, man. Let's rock and roll.
There's no question. I see your name literally everywhere. You're making the rounds. You're doing a good job. I know your podcast has obviously gained some tremendous steam, so it's an honor to have you on the Lawsome Show.
Yeah, I know how. I mean, that's the thing, dude, is like people don't realize that your cell phone creates free content, and whether you're doing a podcast formally or whatever, there's no better marketing tool. And I do it actually to build community. I mean, you use that word, and that's like hallmark to everything that I do, how centric it is. But just do with intent, do with purpose, and the rest will happen. It'll flow.
We see that you're living it out, and I want to get into kind of layer into the community piece, because you found a way to weave that into virtually everything I've seen you do from a business standpoint. But before we get into some of those in-depth questions, let's start from the beginning. I'd love to know kind of what drove or sparked the original interest in law.
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up, we were talking offline about this, but I grew up in Pittsburgh, PA. My dad's a truck driver, 5 kids. I mean, sharing one bathroom. So you just, it comes with a common sense of purpose with that, and, true working class. And one of my uncles, catastrophically injured, he lost the use of his legs, and just seeing how the family had to adapt. And I was, 12 or 13 at this time. How this affects everything, ripple effect around. And yeah, I always knew I wanted to be a trial lawyer or do politics. So that's where my brother and I were the first ones to go to finish law school in our family. We went to DC because, I thought that would be a good place to do that. And I don't know, fighting for people that never had a voice has always been like paramount to everything that I do. So that's kind of where it started and still driving me.
So Bob, two-part question here, just kind of diving into these multiple ventures that you have. Like Tanner said, you got a lot of balls in the air. Yeah, two parts to that. So first, what inspires you to keep creating new ventures? And then secondly, as a practicing attorney, you've got a lot of plates spinning, right? How do you continue to manage all that, while having a thriving, active practice at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to embrace technology, also be able to delegate and accept they're never going to be as perfect as you want them to be for any delegation in any role with any company, right? I mean, accept that it's never going to be exactly how you want it. And that's the only way to grow. The other one is you have to take your ego out of the picture rather than having to have your name on every single verdict, every single settlement, every single success through your technology companies. It cannot be like that for it to be able to thrive and grow. And I've been blessed. I have a twin brother that's a lawyer, and we own all of our stuff together. He manages the law firm. These days I spend way more on the JusticeHQ and attorney share side of the Delta. But it's the same, it's almost, you guys do marketing, right? I mean, this is what you do. I'm literally in front of the same groups of folks that we want to help. I want to help lawyers on a massive scale. Those lawyers I want to teach, want to show them how to try cases, want to show them how to drum up business, how to use technology. those folks may be qualified enough to get into JusticeHQ and do the same thing, right? On this type of on that type of scale, rather, but they have like 5 followers that want to subscribe to them to teach, or they got 500 want to give them that platform. And then on attorney share, it's the same thing. I always wanted to have the lawyers get the best, or have the lawyers get the best cases that they are in their wheelhouse. I think we see too often in this industry that the folks that just have the most marketing dollars end up getting the cases. And on my side, I was really good at trying cases, and they used to give me all the cases to try. And I'm trying to, what we're doing with attorney share is be able to quickly get those to the cases to the lawyers that will work them up and try them the best. That way everybody wins. Especially if a law firm that originated the case is doing a referral agreement or co-counsel, they want to find the best person. So why would not everybody want to do that? And now that we have the ability with technology to track all the referrals, be able to see how each referral partner or co-counsel is doing, automatically report those KPIs back. And I think that's how we win. Just make it so simple that if you're a really good lawyer, you can do that. If you're really good at acquiring cases, you could do that. And I mean, everybody wins in that ecosystem. So long answer on that question, but
Well, I mean, it's perfect. And you gave me a handful of keywords there that you used probably a dozen times in that response. That's a perfect segue into the next topic. And those were share and help, right? It's obvious listening to you just for a few minutes how important all that concept is to you. And when we look at all of your entities and businesses, giving back is highlighted consistently. Where does that come from? How has that shaped your business philosophies?
we're always in customer service. We're always in sales. Nobody wants to say those things sometimes, but if I'm trying a case in front of 12 jurors, that's who I'm selling to. If I'm selling to a bunch of lawyers, that's who I'm selling to, right? And I was always instilled with always do the right thing by anybody, no matter what it takes. That's how my dad was. That's how my mom was. That's what they taught us. Like, my dad would literally, before he went off to school, he'd be like, just go find good circles of friends. Even if people don't have friends, be inclusive with them. You never know if those persons are going to be able to help you, or you need them, or they need you. And that's always instilled with me. So I've always taught that to every single person I work with. I teach that to my kids now. Like, my wife will tell her kids, if you go make a new friend today, or learn something new about someone, right? And if you come from that place of just general curiosity and help, it goes a long way, because then you build a reputation of trust. Trust, I say this in trial all the time, opening statement, trust is not given, it's earned. At the end of this case, I'll be able to earn your trust. It's the same thing with a brand. It's the same thing with, being direct to consumer or having a referral network. If you are an untrustworthy person, or the people don't believe what you're going to say, it's not going to stick. But if people know you'll go out of their way to help them no matter what, it's going to work.
Yeah, that's that Western Pennsylvania upbringing we talked about, right?
That's right, man. So,
Well, let's pivot and kind of go into maybe more of the traditional question around, how a high performer maintains the level of output that they do. For lawyers, I think it's notorious that you just have to put in the time. 80-hour work weeks is something I hear regularly. And there are some that maybe they need to do that for a season of time. But I think there are a lot of lawyers. In fact, I've met a lot of lawyers that wrestle with, they know they need to put in the hours. They're building a book of business that takes time, it takes effort, but they also have a deep care for their community or for giving back. But they're always wrestling with being strapped for time, strapped for resources. Somebody who's lived it out effectively, what realistic first steps would you advise, whether it's around habits to take, or people to get support from, seek counsel around? What guidance would you offer?
a lot of the firms that I coach are lawyers that want to start their own firm. I always tell them, what is your why? Like, what are you building? Where do you want to be at the end of your career? What do you want it to look like? What's your dream scenario look like? And if you are not taking active steps to get there by accepting a speaking engagement, going to a community event, going out to dinner with these other folks, if it doesn't fit with that mission statement of you, don't do it. Like, a lot of companies have mission statements that they go back to see if are we on the right path, and you should have that as an individual. And also align yourself with really good folks that you can learn from, be inspired by, and grow together. You do not want to be in these toxic. I mean, I'm big eliminate toxicity. Like, if anybody's on any of my social channels and they just don't jive with what I believe in, I just unfollow, block. Like, I just don't want to deal with it. you know? Um, but I think surrounding yourself with good people, being in good mentorship groups is absolutely paramount. And look, just do what you have fun doing. Like, but the brands that I have are stuff that I actually love. Like, I love drinking bourbon and talking to my friends. Oh, let's just do a show about that. And then let's build community with that. Like some of my best like business relationships and referrals are with folks that have been on the show, So it's the same thing. So do it with a purpose, and it has to meet your why. And if it doesn't, don't do it.
Yeah, that mission-driven concept, it's amazing. This is literally every single guest that Tanner and I have on, we come back to that same point. We talk about, using a vision and a mission to drive your business, and how often businesses, law firms or otherwise, are guilty of maybe setting that mission and vision on the front end. But to your point, Bob, then they get lost along the way, and they're not constantly measuring every decision they make against that mission. And you said it perfectly. If it's not aligned with your mission, don't do it. And that's such an easy trap to fall into.
Yeah, and just be conscious of your time and commitments. Like, I'm sometimes overcommitted to events and speaking engagements because, but it always fits my why. But sometimes you still have to say, like I had to tell two today, there's a conference I'm not going to be able to go to at the end of the week because I have just too much stuff that I got to get done on the family front and on the tech front. So you just got to say, look, I'll help you promote the event. I'll do whatever I can. I'll have the attendees that I'll drive how you want me to be able to do stuff. I just can't do this right now. Another one I said, hey, I can't fly across the country for this in person. I can still do it virtually. We'll do other things together, but I just have to be conscious about that time. As a business owner, you're never not working. I mean, I've said that a million times, but it doesn't mean you're working all the time. It just means that if something comes up, you got to take care of it. I mean, that's just what it is. And my family gets that. But you have to have a good partner, a good spouse. I mean, God bless my wife. She knows when I'm really busy and got to do stuff. But be strategic of your time. If you only got to, if it's a day trip you need to be able to go do a day trip. You don't need to spend the night. Be home with your family. I'm very committed. I try never to be away for the weekends because I got little kids. That's for them. I will take a down and back across the country if I can do it to not waste time. You can work on a plane. You can sleep on the plane. But again, that's what's important to me. So just don't lose sight of that. And also, folks, if you're out there on the conference trail, just remember, everybody watches you. Everybody remembers. Like, just be a nice person. You can drink here and there. I mean, I do plenty, but just people remember what you say and do out there. So
Yeah.
just watch.
I think that's a good segue into, we've talked a lot about the charitable, mission-driven side of the business. And I'm sure a lot of business owners, listeners out there might be saying, that's great, and I want to do that. But I also need to be mindful of the financial health of my business, right? So how do you balance those two things?
Yeah, I mean, if you're giving back or doing community-driven stuff, it's still also a pathway, a funnel into stuff that you are working on, right? I mean, I do a lot of, like, I'm on the board of Children's Hospital in Phoenix in the orthopedic division. I mean, I'm there helping folks that I help regularly that are catastrophically injured, kids. I know the science, I know all those things. That meets my why, and it meets all those other checks, all those other boxes for me to be able to do. People just need to be mindful with that. And as you get, over in your career, there's ways to actually defer income and be tax strategy smart by doing some certain charity things, a charitable trust, stuff like that. I wish I knew a lot more about that when I was younger in my career, but here we are. But again, you can fit that into your universe of what makes sense. Now, I do a lot with our kids' school because I see all the parents all the time. They know me as the lawyer. I mean, I literally wear my Justice Team branded shit around, very subtle, but people know. So they call me about every issue. It's just about being present, being there, and doing it with a purpose. So if you go just throw up your logo on some like event, that's not going to convert well. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Right. It converts way better if someone's just talking one-on-one with you or texting you. That converts.
100% agree. And I love several of the points. There's some wise counsel in this discussion, and that you have to protect what matters in this process. The businesses will come and go. The other things that you mentioned, especially the family piece, I can appreciate that so much, especially as a high performer who has proven it. Bob, I'm curious, how would someone, if they're wanting to get to know the Justice Team a little bit better, what's the best way that they can do that, and maybe even give a little bit of a description behind it.
Yeah, so I mean, Instagram is my fastest rate of response. I'm at Planet Fun Mob, and my firm name is Justice Team, justiceteam.com. Sort of up to about 30 lawyers. We try cases. We were in 2 trials right now, and I could see my phone chats pinging because it's the lunch hour, so I'm getting questions about like how they handle certain issues. And then the community-driven piece is JusticeHQ, justicehq.com. So essentially it's this, for a few $100 a month, we try to give everybody a platform to succeed. As if you want to have your own mentorship circles, if you want to create your own events, if you want to have sponsored or not, you want to list those events, we push them out. There's on-demand education. So we have a way that people can put all their podcasts in there. People can actually subscribe to one another's content. They can list their office space like an Airbnb thing. They can engage to the social media platform for it. And vendors as well. So we have a lot of vendors that come in that do the exact same thing. So we wanted to open up this space where you could be as inclusive or as exclusive that you want, but you still have that really high level lawyering group, does all their secret sauce stuff. And then you have the same thing on the vendor side, because I can see they have their closed groups, things that they're doing, but then they open their events up to everybody. So it's a good way for any lawyer to stay connected, build their own brand. And starting this summer, we're going to have the ability for anybody to essentially subscribe. It's a mobile app. Now they can pay a very nominal amount to come in to see all the content from all the stars, right? Sign up for their mastermind, see if they get in, show for the events, right? So this is what we wanted to create, is literally flip law on its head and empower everybody that owns their own companies, from law students up, to be able to do all those things, like literally break the barrier. I get so frustrated when I see folks that have these masterminds that are thousands and thousands of dollars a month. Dude, we give that away mostly for free, right? That's the way that it should be. And with technology, you could be much more efficient with these things, and you could be everywhere a lot more often. So that's when we talk about wearing all these hats. Dude, I'm in so many different chats, and it's so much. I actually drop my AI into a lot of these that answer a lot of the questions for me based on how I talk. And in order to help a lot of people, you got to be able to do something like that. I can only be at one physical place at a time. I do have a twin brother, and that's not.
All right, so Bob, you've got your own podcast, so you've been in our seat, right? So if you were in our seat, what question did we not ask you that we should have?
Oh man, you can ask me what my favorite bourbon is. You can ask me what my favorite sports teams are. We can go over
I'll take any of this.
lawyers. Advice. I like the advice for lawyers. I get it all the time, and it's just, what better time than now? I mean, like, it was so much harder when I started my law firm in 2010 than it is now. And it's so much easier to make connections than it is now. And it's so much easier for you to be able to create cases for yourself, right? Like, I used our platform Attorney Share twice today because I did a post about some of the Uber sex abuse cases, because we have some, and so we had a client walk in. It was just a horrific situation, and I did a post about it, and I just probably almost got 1 million views already. But I got a whole bunch of people DMing me about, this happened to me, can you help? So there's one today from Michigan, and I literally just put it on to Attorney Share, and I got a bunch of proposals on it, and I knew one of the guys, and I know that's what he does. So we talked, and he's already called her and signed up that case. So we've helped this woman that she said she was frustrated because she called 2 billboard lawyers. They're trying to take 45% and couldn't answer the right questions. I have another lawyer to call back. She's at Hawaii now, but like, that's the power of social media. That was free for me to do that. And then also free to use Attorney Share to put it in. And now we can help this person and help people on a scale, especially with the automations. It's easy to push stuff back and forth, but like, that's the world we want to be able to create. Like, why can good lawyers, they don't have to spend $1 million a month on billboards and digital and TV. They have guys like you that do a really good job of getting cases in their wheelhouse, right? Sometimes sign retainers, be able to track all that stuff, the stuff that they know how to do really well. So they don't have to go do that shotgun approach of marketing and spend, right?
Well said, Bob. We appreciate that. And for our listeners, we bring folks like Bob who are truly changing the industry. I mean, you've heard it here. We're better together. We're stronger together. And I love the walls Bob's knocked down to be able to just bring more information to the legal profession. It's a good thing for all of us. We appreciate the work you're doing, Bob.
I appreciate you. By the way, you will piss some people off if you're doing things the right way, because a lot of people that did it the old way, that just make a lot of money just by having their name be their name. It's not, they're not huge fans, but that's okay.
The times they are changing.
Yeah, dude, it's Yeah, man. I mean, like, and I appreciate what you guys do because lawyers spend too much, and spin too many wheels on like trying to do things they're not good at, And it's like, if you're really good at dog bite cases in Maryland, I mean, you should work with the service, be able to get those as many as you can to help as many folks as you can with the stuff that you know and love how to do. And when I see lawyers that are just general practitioners, it just makes me a little sad. It's like, unless you're in a super rural area where that's needed, it's like you should be so hyper focused on helping us like specific group of people and make it so easy for people to find you.
Hmm.
I mean, I think that's the way that's going to go.
I would agree. And as you said, it's great for marketers because it gives a very clear bullseye on what success looks like. And it goes back to, what drives you. Ideally, your why is driving you, not the business, not the finances, but the why. And that's where if you have those prior experiences and you enjoy doing it, yeah, why not double down?
Yeah, and then on the same vein is like, again, when you have your license in most states, you can get referral fees for those cases that you're generated or that are sent to you. So what we've created is like anything doesn't meet our criteria for our intake. We do a lot with the AI intake as well as we plug in with our API to attorney share. So it's qualifying cases that you wouldn't take for geographic reasons. You can still monetize those as a referral. Now you can still get to choose because it's law firm to law firm. But now you're finding a consumer, so they called you with a trust. Hey, I trust this lawyer, I'm going to call you. Find them a trusted referral that's not just someone paying a lot for billboard space. So now you've done a huge service for not only you, your law firm, for your client, and also for this other lawyer that's looking for work in their wheelhouse. So anybody that's watching or listening, if you're using like Consult Webs, there's a way for you to essentially automate referrals for yourself that don't meet your criteria. Like I get so frustrated when law firms say they turn down so many people a day that have a good case. It's like, well, why? Like, isn't it a great service to be able to find the best fit for them? But yeah, that's the 2025 mission.
That's a great way to land the plane because I will say that, you think about the firms that are converting some of these niche cases, they may be converting 1% of the lead volume that's coming in. What are you doing with the other 99%? And that intake and that experience is marketing 101. There's great potential there. That's a golden nugget for those who may be sitting on no action on those other 99.
And they got generated too. I mean, especially like we've had a group that we created the AI voice intake, which has been phenomenal. I mean, these things are just like lights out, but you're getting real-time transcripts, right? You're getting real-time intelligence and then be able to figure out who the best fit is for that. So a lot of folks that were having these dead, quote unquote, leads come into their firm, they could just email them back, give them a phone number to call to see if they're still interested. It qualifies them for another practice area. And then you're monetizing referral fee and you're helping somebody out that just didn't know what to do. And I think it's the whole new world. And that's how a lot of really good lawyers are going to win because now guess what? You don't have to have a call center anymore. You don't need it, right? And we're plugging into a lot of folks that have call centers and people that are doing lead gen because it's a service they're offering for their clients. Hey, we can now manage your referrals for you. We just literally plug in a widget, and off you go. So, lawyers, use your license, man. You've earned it. You've earned the goodwill of building this Jason reputation. Use it. And we learned in law school that that has actual value, right? The goodwill of business that we've so learned.
Bob, thanks again. Been such a pleasure connecting with you. Look forward to the next one already. And again, final ways for someone to reach out to you? You gave a website. Do you prefer they just reach out through social?
Yeah. Planet Fun Bob. I'm Robert at JusticeTeam.com. You can go bob.personal.ai. You can chat with my AI bot. Cool. It has my voice. I'm turning it to a hologram on Friday, so it's going to be interesting.
That'll be fun to play around with.
Maybe I was AI doing this whole interview.
Yes, I'm starting to wonder now. Good. Thanks again, Bob.